It was a sustained attack that lasted all Friday as pro-Gaddafi forces pummeled the rebels' western front line of Daphnia. Barrage after barrage of tank and rocket fire hit a 7-kilometre section of their defences.
It's too heavy. It's too heavy engagement. So we are still struggling there. And the guy is doing nice work.
For the opposition fighters, this was a costly day. One ambulance after another poured into this former garage workshop that has been transformed into a frontline casualty unit. At times they almost ran out of space because of the sheer numbers of the wounded flooding in. Medical staff were overwhelmed.
Before we receive, we can say every 30 minutes or every 45 minutes we receive 10 cases, but now in maybe 15 minutes we receive more than 40 cases. So even that staff, we have no staff.
Here was life-saving at its most urgent, at its most basic. This was triage surgery. Those that lived were sent to Misrata for more intensive treatment, but not everyone made it.
For the last 10 minutes, casualty after casualty after casualty is being brought in like this. This whole room is full of wounded fighters. It shows the intensity of the battle, and it also shows the price these people are paying.
While we were there, the death toll reached double figures with more than 45 wounded, but the numbers were increasing by the hour. Shells rained down outside until late afternoon, when there was a brief respite and fighters were able to rest and survey the damage.
Every Friday it was heavy tank and rocket fire from 5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
NATO jets could be heard at times overhead, but there didn't appear to be any strikes against Gaddafi's tanks or Grad rocket launchers that were causing the damage.
We're being attacked by tanks. We need NATO to hit them, but they're not.
But these are brave men who stood their ground. And the fight was not over. They had soaked up the attacks. Now they regrouped to hit back. We went with them through the deserted farms and houses into no man's land. You could hear the shells and bullets whizzing over our heads.
We're about 250 metres away from the actual front line. They're moving forward because they've heard there's some tanks, and they're going out with these anti-tank weapons to try and take them out.
The rebels responded with anti-tank weapons and missiles. Shouts of Allahu Akbar, a belief in God and their cause. This is the second time in 3 days that pro-Gaddafi forces have launched ferocious attacks around Misrata. There is concern they may try to retake the city.
They entered our city once. We'll stop them from ever entering Misrata again.
If they can't, then these men will die fighting. But on the front lines around Misrata, they are paying the price for their fight for a new Libya. Tony Bertley, Al Jazeera, Daphnia.
Well, this comes as the rebels continue their push from the western mountains towards the Libyan capital, Tripoli. James Bays sent this update.
Opposition forces have made substantial gains in the last couple of weeks, and in the last 24 hours they pushed forward a little bit and got more ground. They now hold ground both on the mountain and in the valley, but not all of that territory is linked. And in order to get from one area over there, from Zintan and Jaddu, up to Yefren, they actually have to go through the valley and then up this mountain road. Gaddafi's troops know that, and they've been targeting this road. Look here, this is where a mortar landed on the main road. Gaddafi's forces clearly have moved their missiles and mortars, and they know that this link, this mountain road, is probably the most fragile part of opposition territory.